any unforced errors and gifting opportunities to your opponents, because a Roadhog hook, a sniper bullet will take you out in 1 second if you're a pixel outside of that shield. So Second Wind gonna come out. They want to try the Reaper May, and Frill, he's tried on the Reinhardt pants. He's even worn the Diva cosplay outfit a little bit last week, and now he's gonna give the May a go. Montreal on their side, though, all in with the halt hook between Jcaro and Smex, and of course Facility and Mistakes also going to be looking out for those halts to see if their main tank can help them line up any shots.
Yeah, we got double sniper along with that oink and yoink for Montreal Rebellion, and for Second Wind, we're looking at that Reaper May. 2 quick kills coming in from Montreal. We talked about positioning. If you are 1 pixel too far, you can get taken out of this game. We're seeing that right here with Montreal taking those 2 early picks. We said this tempo was pretty slow, but the reason why we say that for Montreal is not, oh, they don't assert themselves enough. They just wait for their opponent to make a mistake and then they attack.
Montreal is all about capitalizing on their opponent's errors, right? And we talked about halt into hook, halt into sniper shot, halt into anti-nade. Also pretty strong. That's one way to take a Moira off the field. And now Second Wind gonna have to weather this barrage of bullets as they try and make their way onto the point again. It looks like they're going to try and hold camp in this small room on the point, and that's true. You're probably not going to find as much value from your Hanzos, especially if he's dead.
Quick pick for Second Wind. Even though good biotic grenade came in from Montreal, it wasn't quite enough. There wasn't enough throughput damage for them. Facility still down. Jkaru is low as well. This should be a quick flip for Second Wind as they're going to get on at the board. Frill gets hooked, but he's going to fall as well, as Montreal will have a little bit of an opportunity once everyone gets back. If Mistakes is able to stay alive, but no, Second Wind's able to take advantage of their mispositioning, get a couple more kills, and Second Wind will solidify themselves on the objective.
You really see the difference in play style, not just between these 2 teams, but between the DPS heroes that they like to run. Azire and Frill function best at that melee to mid-range. Montreal Rebellion want to hold Second Wind at bay, but that means that they're not going to be investing as much point presence on the objective. They gotta pick people off before they actually get on top of Montreal. Now that they've lost that advantageous positioning, they themselves gonna swap Mistakes and Facility onto their own May Reaper. So whoever burns cooldowns first going to have a big disadvantage. Oh.
That's some beautiful stuff. We talked about the power of music before, but man, the notes, the rhythms, the melodies,
the synchronization.
Yeah, and even sometimes the syncopation just coursing through their veins. As 2 kills come in for Hello, I'm Halo, and that shoots him up to 82% on that sound barrier. He's going to reach the ceiling as well, and Second Wind is going to be way more prepared for the upcoming attack from Montreal Rebellion. Montreal needs to try to make this as quick as possible because they're not going to be going into a winning fight. They did just change over to that Reaper May, and Second Wind have a ton of ultimates at their disposal. They're going to use a couple right here as Bird and Shredlock are going to use Supercharger and Coalescence. Coalescence will find some value. We do find another environment to kill. This time around, there's going to be one going each way. Sound Barrier going to keep everyone from Second Wind nice and alive, and Montreal Rebellion are able to accomplish that quick death, but Second Wind are also able to keep some of their tools in their pocket.
Exactly. They pop Supercharger, they pop Coalescence, really good for lasering down some squishies. And Montreal, this is their last shot. They don't have that all-important Blizzard or even the Death Blossom to soften up those tanks. They've got to be plain old vanilla Overwatch.
They're going to use the Supercharger because that's the only tool that they have. The Blizzard comes out. The Cryo's not going to save you for long Facility, especially if lose power. Jkaru is going to fall. 2 members of Montreal Rebellion already taken off the field. A Second Wind have a pretty dominant Sanctum. It started off pretty poor for them. They got picked off really early on, but after that, it was all Second Wind.
Second Wind with such good holding power on the objective. Azire just going to finish things off with a beautiful Death Blossom. I am the Jay-Z of death. I imagine Reaper probably writes a lot of really emo poetry in his spare time. And Montreal, they adapted just a little bit too late. They took so many punishing fights early on, and actually a big part of that was Halo. You saw him riding up high in the rafters there, and while it can be a very risky proposition for Lucio to be so far away from his team like that in the age of Widowmakers and in the past in the age of Brigidas, it's very easy for you to get shot out of the sky or stunned and killed. But in this case, Second Wind knew exactly what Montreal Rebellion was running. No risk to the Lucio, and he provides such crucial information in terms of how they're going to be engaging. So Montreal really had no chance to take Second Wind by surprise.
Well, there's no Sombra who's going to provide easy scouting, so you're going to have to get that vantage point some other way, and Lucio's are a very good way to figure out exactly where everyone is positioning, because he's the one that's going to try to affect that positioning the most with that displacement on that right click.
I think he got like 3-4 boot kills. Very
impressive.
Well,
there are boot kills going both ways, so both kind of playing the same kind of game, but I think the surrounding parts on second win were doing a little bit better than Montreal Rebellion. Let's see if Montreal are going to be able to commit to this team comp this time around, as Mistakes is going to be on the Reaper. We've seen Facility on the Reaper in the past. It was not very good, so let's see what Mistakes is able to do on the Reaper this time around, as there's going to be a lot of snow cones on the objective, and one of those snow cones is going to fall as Facility goes back to spawn 65 now for second win, and then they've been able to keep the tempo from the last round. Second win just coming in here, taking no prisoners, doesn't care that they're going up against an Academy team. They're playing their game. We talked about that at the beginning of this series. Which team's going to be able to play their game, and right now it's second win.
Yeah, who's going to be controlling that tempo? Right now it's up to Montreal to try and match second win's pace, especially since they're running mirror matchups. Caden was so close to getting demexed, but the healing was there from Bird and Hello I'm Halo, and unfortunately the same thing was not there for Smex. If he gets demexed early on, and Montreal already getting their shield shredded here, they gotta watch out for Phil's Blizzard. There it goes.
Second Win have a massive ultimate advantage as well, and we're seeing that used right here and right now, as Hello I'm Halo is going to find another frag for himself. Second Win still have all 6 members, just the 4 for Montreal Rebellion. Montreal had been rebuffed.
Caden, definitely worth mentioning here, one of the newer members of the Second Win squad.
He has been killing it.
Yes, ever since he joined the last weeks of the regular season, he has been an absolute boon for Second Win. Not only is he great on this Diva, but his far a big reason why they were able to win their last rounds in the regular season. So Montreal just got to pick up the pace a bit with this ultimate generation, both Facility and Mistakes neck and neck, but nowhere near Second Win.
It's that slow pace coming to bite them potentially, but they do find that Take Mistakes and Agility both coming up on those ultimates. Montreal need to get there. They were in a similar situation last time around at 65%. They had to go in and lose a fight. Second Wind in Montreal this time around, now that things have changed a little bit. Montreal had an opportunity to come in here and maybe compete, but with those picks from Second Wind, that opportunity has been taken away from them. They've got one more shot.
Yeah, Montreal right now just doesn't really seem like their separate parts are syncing up. You saw Mistakes will have Death Blossom for that next fight. He got onto the high ground to try and drop that down, but in the meantime, Second Wind rebounding from that early pick cut Montreal Rebellion to shreds, so there was just no place for Facility to try and ult. However, 4 check marks now for Montreal. If quality is not the name of the game, at least they got quantity.
This is the last chance, like we said. If it's not going to happen here, Second Wind will be taking Nepal. So we're going to see the Death Blossom. We're going to see the Blizzard. Supercharger might come out a little bit later, but a Blizzard coming in from Second Wind is going to stop the Death Blossom in its tracks. But it's just been great so far. And Montreal were actually able to flip the point. In the meantime, that's going to be huge for them to solve. Even if they end up winning this, they're going to just get extra percentage points as Jake Howard using that Supercharger, try to push that Coalescence pass and into Second Wind. Extra damage has not been quite enough. They do take down Hello I'm Halo. In the meantime, however, Desire could come back with another Death Blossom. This is still a brawl on the objective, however.
Yeah, Desire is in now. Caden's still in Max hale and healthy, but they lose their Arisa immediately. This is looking more and more dire for Montreal Rebellion. Hello I'm Halo also back here, Frill trying his darndest to freeze up this Diva, and it looks like Second Wind will take not just this round, but all of Nepal.
Too little, too late was the name of the game for Montreal Rebellion. By the time they came into a fight that they could have competed in, they got picked off, and then the following one, they got a couple picks themselves, and Second Wind just came right back like their namesake, re-engaged onto the point, are able to take them down. Azire playing very, very well for Second Wind. Everyone on Second Wind playing very, very well. No identifiable weaknesses so far, and like this is the guy that's the reason why they lost the 30% there. But on Montreal's side, really no one making any type of noise whatsoever. That was handily in Second Wind's side on Nepal.
Everybody's speaking with their inside voices, which isn't, unfortunately, a good thing for Montreal this time around. Also, just wanted to point out a really great play by Hello I'm Halo again on Nepal Village. Smex throws in that bomb. Absolutely would have killed not just Hello I'm Halo, but a bunch of people on Second Wind. Drops the sound barrier just in time, saves himself and his team. And this just goes back to what you were mentioning, Boop, that everybody on Second Wind is cognizant of what their role is, right? I'm not necessarily going to be, a Frag and Lucio coming in and killing everybody on Montreal, but I do have mobility, I have the height, the verticality, I have the boops. This is how I can chip in. And everybody on Second Wind really playing their roles to a T.
We got some good environmental kills, got some good whoops going both ways here on Sanctum, but everything else going second wins away. That was pretty dominant. I'm a little bit surprised in how one-sided this affair was, but we did mention at the beginning that these two playstyles don't really match up. Someone was going to have to make an adjustment. Here on Control, we thought maybe Montreal could have had a better time trying to slow this down, to punish second win for mispositionings, but they weren't even doing that either. And one of the biggest differences, I think, is second wind, too. They are using Bird, they're using Hello, I'm Halo, I think, so much better than the supports that Montreal Rebellion are rocking with right now, just by the fact that we've been saying Hello, I'm Halo's name so much. When someone is just outperforming their counterpart on the other side, like I think Hello, I'm Halo is currently doing, Tensa was able to get some good kills himself, so I'm not trying to pile it on him, but Hello, I'm Halo playing himself a game right now.
Exactly, and it's not that Goliath or Tensa were doing poorly, but if you have the option, if you have the ability to go out there and be that guy for your team.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. They were playing poorly. Unfortunately for Montreal, everyone was playing very averagely, and second win was not. And average is not going to be good enough now that we're here in the quarterfinals of North American Contenders. I'm really excited to see what's going to happen in the second map. Maybe a different map type might push it into Montreal's favor just a little bit more. They really want to slow this down. You can see it on the screen. You can feel it. Everything's just moving a little too fast. They don't feel like they have any control over anything right now.
Montreal does seem to take one step forward and then just be waiting to take one step back, not just with their tanks, but with their Mei and Reaper as well. They're always, just biding their time, looking to see if they can punish, but second win runs at such a pace that it's really difficult to find those opportunities, especially when everybody hasn't been giving them any opportunities. I'm really curious what we're going to see on Assault. We've seen tons of long-distance damage in the past, and we know that Facilities and Mistakes love to play those types of heroes. And in fact, on Nepal, when we first saw the double sniper come out, Montreal got a bit of point percentage with that. The unfortunate thing is they didn't seem to have a plan on how to rotate, how to back up and keep themselves safe when when second wind got on top of them, got in their faces, right?
And they didn't have a backup plan.
Yeah, they didn't seem to have a real backup plan, and you can't always count on your Widow and Hanzo to hit every single one of their shots. So really curious to see how the playstyles will diverge again here on Paris.
Well, now that we're in 2-2-2, you are going to be depending on them just a little bit more than usual to hit those shots, because we are in that 2-2-2 roll lock. To remind everybody, this is also first to three, so it's going to be a little different than the regular season. We aren't playing those 4-map sets. This is the first to three, and right now second win a little bit closer at 1-0 against Montreal. Paris will definitely be seeing some snipers. We'll definitely be seeing some Orisa. Let's see whose will be better. I think we're going to start seeing a lot more mirror compositions as time goes on here and in Overwatch League, and Orisa is kind of the meat and bones of a lot of those.
Exactly. She's your pork and potatoes, especially since we do have
She's the potatoes to Roadhog's pork.
Yes, she's the potatoes of Roadhog's pork. And Smek's going to be that key man for Montreal Rebellion, at least early on. Second win not going with this. The Cadence sticking on the Diva, so a little bit of a risk. If the Diva gets hooked, she's not going to be eating anything. In fact, she's the one that's going to become a liability, but the rest of the team going to have to heal her up until she gets back in mech. So Kaden really needs to watch out for that.
Facility, though, able to get that pick. That immortality field is the reason why Montreal find themselves ahead here on Paris. That was insanely clutch coming in from Tensa. Look at the difference. We talked about Hello Halo so much this last time around. Tensa already at that ultimate on the attacking side. That's usually not how you see it. The defensive side tends to get those ultimates faster off and walks into the point, but this time around, Montreal find an easy point A take. The immortality field assisting with that flank.
Yeah, and just to clarify for all the folks at home, loser of the previous round picks map type, but the winner decides what side they want to be on. So second win definitely thinking that they could get a bit more value out of that defense, even without a Roadhog, but Frill just died so early they couldn't find any laning value from her cryo, from any of those walls. So they got to give it another shot here on B. No ultimates to speak of though. Shredlock close to the supercharger, but that just means that it's going to enable the DPS to do better. They have to watch out for Smex's Bullhog.
Everyone runs away from the halt immediately, and maybe that's why second win's still running this Diva. taking away the halt might be that important for Second Wind, but so far here on Paris, it's not really been working out for them. Beautiful wall as well, keeping them all in the border. That's going to allow Montreal to take as much space as they want. Dreadlock goes down 65 now for Montreal Rebellion. The Dragon's not really doing much for them either. The Dragons on the other side, though, are eaten by Cadence, so the momentum could potentially switch over to Second Wind side, but the Blizzard coming out for Montreal. There is no Blizzard for Second Wind, and Skrill is already back at spawn. A couple more kills coming in for Montreal. They have ran out of ultimates. Have they done enough? They've done enough to at least take one tick, maybe two, as the kills keep coming in for Montreal.
Skrill has to stay alive. He has the Hail Mary in this Blizzard, but Facility 8 easily walks out of it. That, however, has bought a little bit of time, but Second Wind piling back on here. Are they just going to be a pile of dead bodies? A la 300 Bird actually manages to find a pick onto Snex, so it's not all over yet.
Every pick for the defense is so very important. Bird getting that one has enabled Second Wind to come right back and take this away from Montreal Rebellion. Montreal just ran out of tools. They used all of their ultimates. Now they have to get them again, and some of them already do, as Mistakes and Facility will have their ultimate. So will Goliath shortly. Jakaru going to go ahead and switch over to the Orisa, and we saw exactly what Second Wind needed to do there. They needed to find that pick. The Blizzard was just enough time, and they were very lucky that there was still a little bit of progress that was needed in terms of capturing the point, because if they had already taken 2 ticks, Second Wind would be off this map right now.
Exactly, but Second Wind can't keep relying on luck to get them through. They're going to rely on the Reaper May instead. Bird and Hello I'm Halo swapping their supports as well as Montreal make their way back in here. Mistakes can definitely zone folks away with this Dragon Strike. They're going to be looking to isolate Frill again very early on, take that May out of the equation. That's going to be the win condition for Montreal.
The wall goes up. It's going to give them a little bit of a respite before they have to engage. They do have a lot of time on the clock, too, just to get that remaining tick. Montreal Rebellion now coming up on 3.5 minutes, and they're fine on the high ground right now. So they're going to throw the Dragon, separate Second Wind. They're going to make some contact as well. That was a very good Dragon Strike coming in from Mistakes, but Desire is going to find that first pick for Second Wind. Caden also has that self-destruct, but right now they just need that Reaper to start making some noise, and eventually he's going to be able to spin like a figure skater here at about 40%.
Desire doing very well on this Reaper right now. Montreal, again, that slow pace really coming back to bite them. Got a good Dragon Strike there. It was Shredlock isolated in the corner, but nobody was able to really move in and find that kill. Dragon Strike is great. It's huge, enormous, but it only buys you that much time. Montreal, though, will be able to sustain in the late fight now with Tense's Amp Matrix and Goliath's Transcendence. The Second Wind haven't really seemed to need to rely on ultimates so far to find those kills. They've mostly just been using them to stall.
Second Wind, though, have that self-destruct and that coalescence, but they're 30% away from a lot of the rest of their ultimates. Dreadlock should have that Destructor on line. And remember, this man has never played a Contenders playoff series before, and he's your main tank, and you're putting a lot of faith into Dreadlock. So far, he has been performing. Facility going to use the Blizzard. Mistakes finds that first pick. Goliath, the second one, and everything else is going Montreal's way. The Death Blossom is going to fall on deaf ears as the Montreal Rebellion are primed to be taking this point here on Paris. Frill Second would be able to find the miracle that they were able to do last time. Frill did have the Blizzard, but not enough time as Montreal Rebellion to take both points here on Paris.
Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice with that Blizzard? Well, it ain't gonna happen. What a flash. That's just such a feels bad for the Moira of all things to take you down. One of the most self-sustaining characters in Overwatch. It's a flashbang. But hey, Montreal able to grind it out, and the amplification matrix from Tensa doing a lot of good work for them. Because when you're talking about mirror matchups, something as small as an amp matrix, a rally, a supercharger will give you that extra bit of edge against your opponents. And in this shield break game, that can mean life or death. We were mentioning Shredlock a little bit earlier. He was actually doing a really good job. We didn't see him get hooked out and killed early on, which has happened earlier in today's series to Orisa's. And so Second Wind, playing really well, but not nearly the same kind of pop-off performance that we saw them do on Nepal.
2 minutes and 4 seconds is a good time bank for Montreal Rebellion. Second Wind now know how they have to respond. They did choose to defend first, maybe knowing that Paris could have been a challenging that for them. They wanted to have Montreal set the bar first so they can react accordingly. We're going to see very similar team comps on both sides, but instead of the Batiste this time around, Second Wind going to be rocking the Mercy. I do like Tensa on the Batiste because he's a big reason why they were able to make it onto point A in the first place. And Hello I'm Halo got outplayed on the Batiste versus Batiste matchup there.
Oh, absolutely. And the unfortunate thing for Second Wind is you just can't tank that much damage. You have to back up or die. So now they're going to be the ones attacking, so pushing into this Montreal Rebellion defense. This is definitely going to favor Montreal. They like to play this slow, more reactive game. But Second Wind not going to be shy about shelling in that damage. Azire taken to the air on this Pharah. Not his best hero, but definitely serviceable, while Frill picks up the Hanzo. We also have a Hog and a Halt on the field. Maybe going for Baptiste, maybe going for the Zenyatta, just in case Mistakes gets a Dragon Strike off.
So, Montreal Rebellion don't have a ton to deal with the Pharah in the sky. I mean, Mei and Hanzo could get off some good shots, but I actually think it's going to fall in the way of the Pharah to misposition herself to be hit by those projectiles.
Talking about early hooks.
I know, Caden's going to find his first hook today. His second wind already with that 65 on the attack. These defenses have been like tissue paper so far today. Montreal Rebellion might have to make some adjustments immediately. That they do, as Specs is going to be switching over to that Diva. Some good vision also coming in from Second Wind. Frill does go down, so this is actually not in the bag for Second Wind just yet. A return kill, though, is going to make it a little bit easier for them. They're all holed up in the building so far. They have to touch the point, and that they do. Montreal Rebellion using the Immortality field to the best of their ability. It is gone, though, so Second Wind has got an opportunity of pushing that damage. That's exactly what they're going to do.
Very nice early hook from Caden. This Roadhog amongst his deep hero pool. And Second Wind, the really good news for them is they were able to win the neutral fight there. They didn't need to use a single ultimate, so now they are packing as they walk into point B. You have Dragon Strike, you have Barrage, you have Transcendence, ways for your DPS to sustain here. So Dragon Strike into Barrage could actually be really deadly against Montreal Rebellion, because this is a lot of pressure on Mistake's shoulder as the one dedicated hit scan to take Azire out of the sky. And if he can't see what's going on, if he's forced away by that Dragon Strike, it could all be over.
Azire choosing to use the Pharah in the second half as well. You see how good the shield break for Second Wind is, as the Arista shield on Montreal Rebellion not lasting for any amount of time. They're able to push in that damage quickly. Mistakes now switching over to the McCree. That's because there's a Pharah in the sky, so I expect after Second Wind uses the Rock Barrage. If it doesn't work for them, we will be seeing some changes. And Mistake's going to get 3 shots in a row. We might not even see this Barrage. We're going to see some Electric Cowboy. Nice flashbang to stop the hook. That's big news for Montreal as they seem to be stabilizing.
Stabilizing here, but Second Wind aren't done just yet. Oh, but everybody getting frozen here. Doesn't matter how many concussion lines you have. Azire's not going to reach his team in time to throw in that barrage. So now the big question is, what do you do next? Still invest in the pharmacy, you have Barrage, but it could be a losing battle. Montreal have 2 minutes, and Second Wind not going to take that chance. They're going to come at it with the comp that they feel is best suited, and that's going to be straight in, down the middle, Azire and Frill firing towards Montreal Rebellion, though I would be very, very scared of Mistakes. What a flashbang onto the Roadhog to stop that hook, and Second Wind don't really have any long-distance damage to challenge him out, so they have to get into the faces of Montreal once again.
They're going to have a much easier time doing it this time around, though, as the Mei is going to prevent opportunities to flank around, take different kinds of paths with the Mei wall,
block
as well
their vision.
As Desire can walk right past the shield if he has the enabling behind it, and we're going to see the high noon come out. Beautiful Mei wall. It's going to cancel the ultimate pretty much, and Montreal Rebellion are not going to be able to use it. It does take the wall out of the cooldowns of Second Wind, but it will be back here very shortly. There it is. Second Wind now doesn't have any ultimates. Montreal Rebellion might find themselves an opportunity here, but Jikaru and Second Wind both lose one member. The self-destruct doesn't find anyone from the next. You really wanted something to happen with that self-destruct. Really would have made this a lot easier for Montreal Rebellion. Spexo going to do it the old-fashioned way with those boosters and knock Shredlock out, but a coalescence now coming in from Bird, trying to turn things around.
Yeah, Blizzard out now for Facility is going to signal the end for Second Wind's push here. Again, some really, really good early engagements. Forcing Mistakes to back off to get healing is essentially the same as taking him out of the fight just for a short period of time. But even with that, Second Wind couldn't really find any kills. In fact, it was their own main tank that died to Montreal. So we have to see a bit more target focus from Second Wind. They have the firepower, they have the team play, it's just not all coming together.
Beautiful grenade, though, going on to Second Wind. The Second Wind doesn't seem to care. We're already seeing that Mei wall. It's not just to block damage, it's to get you to the place you want to be. It's kind of like your helps you on your defense, one of those landmarks. Second Wind going to use that supercharger for already using that Lessard as well. A lot of Second Wind is taken to school right now. Jeff Watson comes out. Second Wind though going to find those kills. Hello, I'm Halo going to get a triple kill on at the point. 3 final blows for this Lucio who's had himself quite the game, and they might pretty much match Montreal Rebellion's time bank here. There's only going to be about a 10-second difference between both of these teams. I don't believe Second Wind even made it to a minute, so 4 or 5 seconds will decide who wins Paris. Let's see what the official time was for both of these teams. 2:04 versus 1:59. This could not be closer, but the big thing here is Second Wind's going to have to attack again, and point A was a little bit of a hit and miss for them. They eventually got it, and then B came around. They had to switch over their team comps. It was a little bit more miss at the beginning. Then they were able to finally get their ultimates and take over B. How do you think this one's going to go?
5 seconds. 5 seconds long. But yes, Second Wind, I actually think that their first push was their best push. Once they had to, take a couple of painful losses and then swapped over their compositions, they still did really well. But this early pharmacy pick, I think, worked very well in Second Wind's favor. Montreal just, as the defenders, you have an inherent disadvantage in that you can't easily swap your comps. So Second Wind really took advantage of that. And look at Montreal. They're like, yeah, no mistakes. Why don't you pick up the Widow just in case? Because they have learned from their mistakes, and the Pharah is not going to have quite as much free space in the sky any longer. But even so, Second Wind, in their last point B push, showed that they really took that target prioritization to heart. Mistakes was target number 1. It was all about keeping him uncomfortable, walls coming up to block his view, so that could very well happen once again. Doesn't matter how wiggly you are as a Widowmaker, if Caden, Azire, Frill, and Shredlock all trying to figure out where this Widow is and keep her from doing what she wants to do, Montreal probably going to be playing a lot more defense than they thought they might.
Montreal coming in with that Widowmaker. I'm excited to see what Mistakes is going to be able to do. She's going to have to shoot around a lot of the shielding from the Second Wind. If everyone stays safe behind the shield, it's going to be much harder for Montreal to do anything with this Widowmaker. Second Wind also going to be coming out with their own Widowmaker, this time on Frill. Frill has shown himself to be quite the Widow in the past. They're going to try to get the shield broken and then expose the heads of the opponents. Both teams will be trying to do this as Mistakes finds one of the most important heads in the game. That's Hello, I'm Halo on that Mercy.
Great halt hook setup by Montreal. We're just talking about how Shredlock didn't get hooked and the caster curse strikes again. He himself lives, but his Mercy sadly dies. So that's 1-1 fight and half the time worn down for Montreal Rebellion. They might not end up having to play more defense than they thought. The Second Wind have the very undesirable position of having to push through this small choke, one of the most difficult chokes in all of Overwatch. As Iron Frill, you have the makings for a crossfire, you just don't have the position.
The halt is going to get blocked by the wall. That's something that we're going to be seeing a lot over these playoffs and potentially Overwatch. We've already been seeing in Overwatch League so far. Second Wind, though, will have this Nano. If this Nano comes online, that could be a nice little jump to their chances because he is going to beat Goliath. They did take down the Immortality field as well. Mistakes is down, so Second Wind have a 6v5. They just got to try to approach the point from here on out. Will Frill and crew be able to find another pick before Mistakes comes back? Mistakes looks like he's going to stay on to the Widowmaker, use those wall hacks from spawn, give his team a little bit more information. We've seen this before. They're all trapped in the building. The Dragon Strike is going to be enough to take down Jay Karu. Montreal Rebellion look like they will fall here on point A, as Second Wind will be taking this. With 5 seconds less than Montreal will have on their next approach, but at least Second Wind take A. They're going to make this a lot harder for Montreal to try to take this map, because remember, they're coming up from behind.
So many teams on the attack when they try and push with Orisa, they just play that shield break game. Shield isn't broken, well, I guess our Hanzo and Widow aren't landing shots, but Second Wind send Caden on the flank. He gets the pick onto Smex, and while Smex doesn't die, that forces Montreal to rotate, and in that Second Wind find the opportunities. Now they're pushing up on B. They only have 7 seconds. Somebody has to touch this point first.
Frill is going to try to go on the flank. Mistakes, though, going to find a little bit of revenge. He was the first to fall last time around. He will find that first pick, but Frill's going to find a headshot himself. So these are pretty even right here. No one is on the point. And look at this. Second Wind would have been able to take more kills. And this is the thing about when this happens. It's so hard for some teams to recover from a fumble like that, right? It's like you're on the last drive. You're on the 1 yard line. All you have to do is start the play, and then you let the clock run out. You don't even do it, right? You let the clock decide the play in instead. And second wind, unable to find any footing on the point. They had 5 members there. They could have done it. A little too bloodthirsty, if I say so myself. Maybe a little too much Minecraft for them. Coming into this game, maybe jockey their brains a little bit.
I mean, in Minecraft, all you do is hammer blocks. Everybody was getting kills, but nobody was standing on the point. Hello, I'm Halo was like channeling, bloodthirsty mercies, peppering in the kills, but just so unlucky because Montreal, it could very, very feasibly have gone second wind's way. That defense could easily have crumbled. Second wind got the tempo res onto their Ana. Everything was looking amazing. And that's sometimes when you're playing, hot and heavy and you're just running with it, those things can happen.
Yeah, I C9 to point yesterday, so it could totally happen to the best of us as second wind.
And to the worst of us.
Yeah, and second wind letting the Charlie Niner happen. That is a textbook one if I've ever seen one myself. Montreal Rebellion now on the attack. They had about 5 seconds more than second wind, so this is still pretty even. Montreal Rebellion now coming out with a very similar comp they've been running all day. Mistakes this time on the Hanzo.
Mistakes on the Hanzo. Montreal going to be looking to build up some ultimate charge right now. Of course, they could always send smacks. Oh, what a hook, though.
That opens up the point. There's no res for second wind, so Montreal Rebellion could decide to come and attack. They're taking it a little slow right now, giving Halo a little bit of time to come back. That was a nice wall. Another nice wall now coming in from Montreal. Now they don't know which direction they're going. They could assume, and they assume correctly, a second wind will rotate onto the objective proper. Shield goes down from both sides. It's a strength warfare between these Orissas. It's inch by inch. You want to take that space. These Maywalls are so very important as well. So Immortality Field is going down. 4 second win. The clock does as well. Montreal Rebellion looks like they're going to be taking this point as well.
Yeah, Montreal going for the slow and steady push style, but it's still working out. They just have such a huge man advantage.
Oh, not anymore.
Soon, though. No mercies on either side, so all of these deaths are permanent. However, Goliath's like, no, I play Zen too, okay?
Get the camera on me, guys.
Yeah.
I need the camera. You're going to see good Zenyatta over here as well. Bird is known as a good Zenyatta. Goliath as well. Goliath finding the better of Bird in that 1v1. That's got to feel good. 1 minute to get 1 tick, or else you draw. So second wind cannot allow Montreal Rebellion to find that tick, maybe enforce into C9, just like they did.
Yep. Montreal, what's going to feel better than a Zen on Zen kill, though, is all of these ultimates they're coming in on. They're going to have Trance, they're going to have Supercharger, and of course, Whole Hog at the ready. But the big one, the one that might just seal the deal for Montreal, is going to be Facilities Blizzard. Bar a Transcendence from Bird, there's no way for second wind to stand on the objective when that ultimate flies.
Oh, good hook, though. Opens it up for Montreal Rebellion. They've got that 6v5. They're going to use that Dragon Strike, though, as Zaire needs it to make some noise, and it does not. The Supercharger with Immortality Field and Amplification Matrix all down for Montreal Rebellion, and they're using it to their peak ability. You do go down for Montreal, so in particular, they're able to find a couple more picks. They might be able to delay this a little while longer, but they're so close to finishing this out. Montreal do just that, and second wind have got to be kicking themselves into the butt there because they gave up an opportunity that was potentially progress. We did see kills come through once it did become slow motion there after they C9, but Montreal going to play a little bit cleaner there on Paris, and we're tied 1-1.
Yeah, Montreal really have the rhythm of using the amplification matrix down. Have it such a huge difference maker for Montreal, but when second wind lays their own down, because, in that time when Jay Caro got headshot by that Hanzo, the amp matrix was down for the defenders. And somehow second wind just not really able to find quite as much value. Maybe their players not as used to getting ready for that. But regardless, Montreal Rebellion, with the help of their Baptiste Tensa, able to tie things up 1-1.
Second wind struggling on defense in general. In control, there's a little bit less of that obvious offense and defense. Yes, you do come on to the point, you have to defend it, but on assault, you got to stay claimed to your land, right? You cannot let the other Orisa take up that much space. And this time around, Montreal figured it out. They were able to take Paris. It was very, very close. I just can't help but think that C9 contributed to that loss. And even
could have been a little more flustered afterwards.
Even though second wind were able to take point A, it wasn't wasn't quite enough for them. So we have entered halftime between these two teams. There is no sweep for this one as they're going into halftime 1-1. We'll see everyone in 6.